What's good, everybody? What's good? Casual Avenger back again with a whole new setup. So forgive any slip ups or anything like that. I'm still getting used to the interface and all of that good stuff. But I'm here again, as promised, talking about Spider-Man 2 and the controversy surrounding the marketing for the game. You got a lot of people on different sides of the opinions, ranging from it's good, it's perfect, it doesn't really need it, to this is terrible or this is underwhelming, and I'm honestly not sold on buying the game at this point. And I have some special guests joining me today to join in on the discussion. You guys may be familiar with both of them. I'm pretty sure you are if you followed this channel and you've been following the coverage of Marvel's Avengers. They've both converted from over there, and we're spreading out into Spider-Man 2 and other things. And I definitely look forward to introducing you guys to both of them, or no, all three of them. I have another special guest as well. We got a quite the cast lined up for you guys. And like I said, again, forgive any mix-ups. It's a whole new setup, whole new ballpark. So bear with me as I get used to this. But first up, I want to bring on Allfather Media. You guys, you've probably seen his work. You've probably seen his videos, in past. He started his own YouTube channel at this point where he talks about just different video games, their concepts, things they can do better, things he would like to see. He does critical reviews, things like that. Definitely want to welcome him onto the show. Allfather, let's hop on up here, brother.
How's it going, man?
Cannot complain. Hope everything is good with you.
It's really like super hot in the UK right now, and we're just not built for it at all. Like
I get it.
I'm just sweating over here. But other than that, I'm good, and I'm excited to do this stream and have a chat.
Definitely appreciate you coming on today. And next up, we have, no introduction necessary, the craziest man coming straight out of Avengers and to any other game that'll have him. Also a massive Spider-Man fan. Crazy British man from across the pond, SlightStardust.
Yay, it's me. Hey everyone. How y'all doing?
What's good, bro? Appreciate you coming on as well. And as I said, I also have a third guest. Been rocking with him for a while. One of my friends from the Avengers community and just gaming in general. And he's also from Chicago, so he gets bonus points for that. But I want to bring on and introduce to some of you my good friends, Slipshot.
What's going on, everybody? So, quick statement. Casual. You might need IT for your stream, and if you do, I do have IT experience. Just go ahead and $25 an hour. Just put that out there. Just let you know that.
All right, you hired, and we will put that on Stardust's tab. So cool. Expect payment delays and all of that good stuff, currency transfers and all of that.
My brother thinks I have a tab. My brother thinks I can ever give money back. What are you talking about? You think I have money to ever give back? Especially not on I'm spending. Are you crazy, bro? My videos are popping off and I still don't get paid for it.
It's like today I really wanted to highlight a lot of just the controversy. It almost feels wrong to call it a controversy because honestly I don't feel like it's that big of an issue. But if you're
more just like opinions.
Yeah, if you're over on Twitter and Reddit, it can seem like a bigger deal over there than it may actually be. But there have been a lot of hot takes coming in, from both sides and across the middle. And I just wanted to highlight some of those things and also give different perspective on how we all view the marketing so far. Let me see. First up, I guess we can go straight into the story trailer.
Oh, I love this trailer. I was watching it 10 minutes ago before the stream.
Nerd.
Took
But yeah,
sight.
it's like
Shut up.
this trailer honestly gives a ton of information in my opinion, and we can go through and break that down, as we go through.
Drones confirmed.
Straight away, the look of the city from the distance, like that, just looks awesome. You can see how, like, assuming this is all in-engine, which it is, because it transfers straight into gameplay, it looks phenomenal.
Cover the door. The beast could be anywhere. You have no idea.
Bars.
This whole blizzard hunt ends now! Leave Connors alone!
Slip knows how much, like, because we watched it together when it was revealed. I was screaming so loud at this, my mic stopped picking up my audio.
Yeah.
It like cut off completely.
Like, we can pause right here. Honestly, in just those few seconds, we've seen a bit of things that we haven't seen that hasn't been a feature in any of the previous games. So you got the black suit on full display. You have new gameplay. You have new UI. You have a new enemy group attacking Spider-Man in a new setting that we have never seen or played in before. And it's like, again, we're only a couple seconds into the trailer.
Can I just say super quick? I know that this isn't about marketing, and I get that in this game he's got expressive eyes, symbiote eyes. But if they left it the way it is right now, it would have been the best symbiote suit, in my opinion. I love the sharp white eyes for the symbiote. Anyway,
very Web of Shadows.
Pause real quick. Casual did a perfect pause. You see right there on his hands, it's not the square thing that everybody's complaining about, but right there, you see the two white things that people were like, "Oh my god, he doesn't have the white things on his hands." They're right there. It's not in the squares.
Yeah.
I'm a bit disappointed he doesn't shoot webs from him though, but that's a real minor thing. That's like a real, you have to be such a nerd to actually be upset about it. Do you know what I'm saying?
So
Yeah,
I'm really upset.
It would have been cool if they did it. I mean, to be fair, I don't think Web of Shadows did that detail either.
It didn't. No, he did it from the wrists as well. It's a non-issue. It's just a little thing. Just a little thing.
Well, yeah, and to be fair to the team, we could very well see web swinging kind of expand as the game goes along, as the suit continues to evolve and things like that. So just throwing that out there, but just in those few seconds, they have shown off something new. So it's like, this could have been a teaser trailer, and it's like, once you get to the part where he does the takedown on all four people, that would have been enough. Like, the internet would have been on fire just from that alone, which a lot of people have been making a point of. It's a Spider-Man game. You really don't need to do this massive marketing push because it's Spider-Man. And I made a post the other day on Twitter stating that when Spider-Man 2018 dropped a couple years ago, I was working. Like, I was in the middle of one of my busiest work seasons ever, and I didn't have the time to be online and follow the marketing or live streams or any of that. I just knew the game was coming out, and when it was available, I picked it up. So I didn't know what enemies were in the game. I didn't know what villains were going to appear or anything like that. Everything for the game was a surprise, and I enjoyed it thoroughly, and that was enough. So I understand if people want more than that, which is why I brought a cast of different opinions to the forefront, especially Allfighter, because I feel like you get a bad rap most of the time as you're just complaining for the sake of complaining. But it's like, if you actually listen to you have valid arguments, and I just wanted to give you the space to kind of highlight that.
No, I appreciate that. I do.
Feel free.
Yeah, well, I thought you were gonna like go for play more of the trailer, and then we
could do that. I'll come back to you as we go forward.
I do like the way as well. You can see the new ability buttons on either side, tied to L1 and R1. The new feature as well.
Never came to New York.
I'm going to be at that wall forever, by the way. That those balls are not escaping.
Yeah, it's like all new gameplay we just showed off. It's like it's going to feel similar, but we are also making it, you know, a little. It's evolved since the last game. This is what I'm ultimately saying.
I'm not gonna make it
So
in time.
just in that like what 40 seconds, you got
Miles,
new
the
animations,
hunters
new
tracked Connors to the Harlem
new
Fish
suit.
Market.
That
What
looks
is
like
it?
a new area. I could
I'm
be
on it.
wrong. I'm
Sounds
not
like
going
Kramer's
through
checking off
charting
his-
the
We don't have
entire
much
game
time.
of what you call
Move.
it. It's a new area, and you
Guess
had
we'll chat later.
new different new different like enemies.
Yeah, so like let's just go back to what we just saw. You know, you
I'm
have
not
a
gonna
new
make it in
way of getting around the city. You can switch between Spider-Man, which is again something new.
Miles, the hunters tracked Connors to the Harlem Fish Market.
Blizzard. I'm on it.
And now you can
Sounds like Kramer's
slingshot
checking off his-
We
and
don't have much time.
go straight
Move.
into flying across the city. Is like
Guess we'll chat
that's
later.
crazy. And you know, to hear people say like they haven't shown us anything, we don't know what's new, what's changed with the gameplay and the swinging and stuff. It's like, did you watch the trailer? We got all of that. We pretty much got it.
Yeah, I mean, when you watch this, when you go back and watch this trailer, it is awesome, like this gameplay, but it's still a set piece sequence, so it's not a reflection of open world game. It is to some extent a reflection of open world gameplay where he's going through the city here, but so my whole thing that I've been saying is that you've got to kind of set expectations to a certain extent. Like marketing isn't just about showing off what the game has; it's about sort of setting expectations of what people are going to actually play. So without showing any just normal like open world gameplay, which we got for the previous game, there was a 10-minute gameplay demo. You know, the demo where he goes straight from like he's like chilling on the wall with his phone and then jumps straight into gameplay, if you remember. So that was just all open world stuff, showing off random crimes and things like that. And the fact that they're not showing off random crimes and side content at all is like it leads to one of two things. So one is people's expectations are going to be too high because they're going to think of like all these amazing things that aren't going to be true, or they're going to think, are they showing it off because are they not showing it off because it hasn't changed at all and it's just going to be the same old random crimes, the same car chases, and blah blah blah. So without setting those expectations and letting us see actual open world gameplay that's not scripted, you're kind of falling into one of those two areas. And some people don't care about seeing it, which is fine. If you don't want to see it, just don't watch it. You know, if Insomniac put up a 10-minute gameplay demo of open world gameplay and side activities and web swinging features, and you don't want to see it until the game comes out, just don't watch it.
Yeah,
but some people do like to see that stuff.
So
yeah, that's fair. Hop in.
This is not, so this is not a drastically new different game, right? So if there was a reason why, okay, if they made drastic changes, big differences, then yeah, of course, show those. But this is just Spider-Man 2. This is not like multiversal drop thing. This is essentially just adding another character in the same game. They very well might be the same crimes. It might be a different type of crimes or variations of those, but it probably will be the same way. And those expectations are always something that's on the consumer. Nobody, because everybody, there's these millions and millions of people. No expectations is ever going to be a 100% exceeded. There's some people that are going to be upset. There's some people going to be blown away, and there's some people who are just going to meet them. That's just going to be what happens. And
That's yeah, I totally agree with that. But at the same time, they can sort of like set expectations to a certain extent, because like I said, if people don't know to at least some degree what they're in for, their imaginations can run wild, and that is on like the consumer's fault at the end of the day. But if Insomniac haven't put anything to show how some of these systems have improved or how they work, then what's it to say that they've either not improved or they're gonna, you know, it just causes either disappointment or
Yeah, I can get that. Real quick before we push forward, I want to acknowledge the chat. Typically when I live stream, I shout out the chat. I appreciate everybody showing up and being here, so I definitely want to give you guys some acknowledgement. Arkham 927, Novel Flow, Zeke, Christopher Rogers, King Jastin, Steve Bish, Miss C Star Rose. How you doing? I appreciate you popping up in the stream. RPD. Appreciate everybody else. If you guys haven't already, drop a like on the stream. It definitely helps. And let your voices be heard. You know, I'll try to filter in chat as much into the conversation as possible. But yeah, to address what Allfather and Slip were just saying, honestly, it's like we still have 7 weeks to go with, you know, before the game actually arrives. They could have, you know, live stream schedule, they could have gameplay schedule, all of that stuff that, you know, those deep dives that, you know, hardcore fans are looking for from the series. And it's like, I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty confident in saying that you're going to get stuff like that. And it's also been, you know, kind of hinted at and suggested by people in the industry that you're going to get a state of play coming soon. So I don't know, you know, I'm inclined to believe that'll be showing off more suits and things like that. But
I would like to play Devil's Avocado. All right, everyone. So this doesn't derail what Allfather's saying when I say this, but I am 100% in the opinion that we are going to be getting a state of play, just like Casual said. Everything that we've seen, you know, whether it's next week, a week after that, whenever, right? As long as it's before the 20th, because if it's on the day, that'd be a bit stupid. And yeah, and we're going to see, I would say 10 minutes, maybe 20 minutes, maybe 15 minutes, whatever, of just sort of scripted gameplay, right? Because when you do these gameplay trailers that we're seeing here, they're supposed to look perfect. That's the whole idea. So when all of us play that symbiote bit at the start, we are not going to be able to do it as smooth as they have, right? I'm not even lying to you. I'll be kicking dudes' balls for about 10 minutes, right? And then I'll maybe, instead of doing the, you know, the 4 tentacles up in the air, I might forget I can do that and just get shot to death. You don't know, you know.
Yeah,
so
that's because you bad.
Whereas like an unscripted segment of gameplay, just open world, just whatever, showing off some combat, showing off whatever. I don't know if it's necessarily to see anything new. It's just like, as a fan, right? So this is more like, I would just like to see it rather than it's bad but that I haven't seen it, if that makes sense. So I would love to just see it, to be like, oh man, that's sick, you know, like this game looks amazing as itself, right? Rather than like a marketing piece, just watching 10 minutes of unspoilery gameplay. You don't have to do crimes, just like punch a lamppost or something. I don't know. Like
that's what I wanted to say. Like these kind of videos, this 10-minute story trailer, that's for the hardcore fans. Casual people who are maintaining jobs and, you know, juggling life with kids and stuff like that, is like, you're not really probably online to see that stuff live, or you might, you know, get it as secondhand information or something like that. But that's for the people who are really looking for those hardcore details, you know, like you, Allfather. And, you know, like I said, casual people, the word of mouth and slight marketing. So seeing a TV spot here or there, or just, you know, the news that Spider-Man 2 is coming. Hey, you'll be able to play with Miles, and you might even be able to play with Venom. That's enough. So people are pre-ordering based off of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think it's fair to like kind of separate marketing from gameplay in this instance, because I've probably myself used the wrong terminology saying the marketing's bad, because the marketing hasn't been bad really. Right. If you look at like trailers, TV spots, posters, there's a trailer running in cinemas right now for the game. So like from a marketing standpoint, I don't think it's actually been bad. There you go. So it's in cinemas. That's good marketing. I'm probably more inclined to say that it is fan service, and a lot of people like that I've been speaking to on Twitter and debating with have been saying, you just want fan service, and it's like, well, yeah. What's wrong with that? Like, why is that a bad thing to want to appreciate the game and see how these things run in real time? You know, it's
so
that's people acting like it's a crime.
You can go ahead, Slip. I mean, it's like,
yeah, go ahead.
We get confused a lot, me and Slip. We look very similar. So yeah, no, like that's my thing as well, is that, you know, and I think, you know, I've laughed at people that have made like jokes about the marketing and stuff like that. There was that what's his name? It's really big YouTuber, Spider-Man YouTube, Brown Table, I think that's his name. He made like a tweet, and I thought it was quite funny. But realistically, like I said to Allfather, I said that in the DMs, I said that Venom picture the other day got me, like straight up. Like I was a bit like, damn, really want to see some new stuff. Then I saw Venom looking like a happy dog about to eat his owner, and I was like, damn, love it. You know, like it doesn't take a lot for me because, and again, that's because this game could be, it won't be bad, but this game could be awful, maybe a 1 out of 10, and I would still shill for it because it's Spider-Man and that'll do me. But I can also understand that if it wasn't Spider-Man, say, but it was just a game I was genuinely interested in, maybe I would be a bit like, could they have seen a bit more, you know? But then that's everyone's argument is, well, it's Spider-Man. It sells well, and it is like that. That would sell me every time. Like it could be a new company. I don't see any gameplay. I just walk into my local shop and I see a game case that says Spider-Man blank blank blank, and I'll be like, damn, 70 quid. Like, there you go.
I think that's what I'm saying. It's like I feel like there's by the time between now and the time that the game actually arrives and players have it in their hands, everyone who's will be served. Everyone will have gotten something that they were looking for from the marketing and gameplay previews and all of that stuff. I feel like they have all of that already in mind, and you know, we're just getting closer to when they're fully going to roll out their full-blown marketing push. They're ramping up with the promo images. They're pushing it in the theaters. You're going to see more TV spots coming up. You got a state of play possibly coming up very soon. You get what I'm saying? It's like, as we get closer, especially once we hit October, it's probably going to, you know, just really go full blown. Here's you know, Queens. Here's, you know, this new area where we're live streaming and speaking with one of the voice actors or something, or speaking with the developers. All the stuff that, you know, hardcore fans are really looking for, and the casual people, they've either already pre-ordered the game or they're going to pick it up around Christmas time or something anyway because it's Spider-Man. But jumping back into the trailer, you know, like I said, I just wanted to highlight how a lot of what we're looking for is shown. Like, we know what the story is going to be about. We know the enemies that are going to appear. We know how we're going to be able to get around. We know we can switch between Miles and Peter at any given time almost. You get what I'm saying? So it's like,
they got here fast.
They covered a lot of ground with this one trailer alone.
I think
showed off a new gadget.
I think this whole debate wouldn't even be a thing if the game wasn't announced like 700 days ago. Like 2 years plus is a long time for a game to be announced and to see so little compared to what you might normally see from a game, or even a sequel. And the fact that like we went such a long stretch with literally no information whatsoever has already kind of like made people impatient to a degree.
Can I just super quick, because this has always bugged me, but I've always forgotten about it when I'm in, like, you know, when I've watched it. So these are supposed to be hunters, right? Super well-trained hunter. This is a nitpick. But when Miles smashes the little drone, do you not think that these really well-classed hunters would be like, man, what's that mechanical smashing sound from above our heads?
Yeah, that's like a part of these games at that
can't
point.
be Spider-Man, can it?
Yeah, same.
Can't be the person we're looking for, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know, you beating the hell out of somebody in a takedown, and the other guys are just standing there like it's 16 of us, but hey, let Batman go off, I guess. Yeah,
exactly.
it's like,
I love it. It's so stupid.
Tune it out, I guess. But yeah, you're 100% right, man. It's like that is immersion breaking at some points. Because it's like, I know you hear me webbing up this dude right above your
exactly.
head, bro.
It always happens in games though. This isn't even a Spider-Man thing. Like there'll be many times, like I remember the old Amazing Spider-Man 2. You could be like smashing someone against the wall till they're unconscious, like 1 meter away from an enemy who's right next to you, and they just won't even go, what's that sound?
Like you yank them down, hit their head on the beam. It's like, bro, I know we heard that. You heard
that ding.
Exactly. If you heard nothing else, you heard the ding. I know you did.
Silence pistols in video games make absolutely no sound whatsoever via magic.
I noticed, like, as well, in the original game, when you stealth people up, sometimes you cover their bodies but not their mouths. So would you not just shout, I'm up here! It's Spider-Man!
Because he's knocked out, bro.
Yeah, it's like you just saw two new gadgets. So you got the web line that you can, traverse. You can take down multiple enemies at the same time with stealth takedowns now. And then you transition from that to another new gadget.
So let's just say for a second that everything they showed off in this gameplay was all the new improvements we were going to get, right? Let's just for argument's sake say that this was it. There was no more gameplay improvements other than everything we've seen. Would you consider that to be enough for a sequel, or would you expect more?
I expect more. I don't think they're going to show off everything in the first few trailers. And similar to how we had to discover you can share the Hulkbuster and Avengers. I think they want you to discover some stuff with gameplay and just let the community spread the word about this cool new thing you can do in Spider-Man 2. And I think that's the perfect approach to it. So it's like you don't want to spoil everything. You don't want to show your full hand. Because again, we're buying the game. We're going to get the game. That was never in doubt. We wanted a new game since we completed the first two, and they're giving us more of what we want. But yes, you do want to see something new. You want to see some new gadgets for Peter. You want to see new takedowns. You want to see multiple takedowns. You want to see a different story. You want to see new villains, and I think they're giving you all of that.
I mean, if you look at the improvements from like the first game to Miles Morales, they implemented like a whole new trick system, which wasn't in the first game, like almost the Tony Hawk level of like, different button combinations and stuff. Yeah. So it's like, it is a sequel, and we do kind of just expect it to be like, some people have said like God of War to Ragnarok. I said Fallen Order to Jedi Survivor would be like an equivalent sort of approach. But I think like in Miles Morales, there was actually quite a lot of new stuff that we got, especially in terms of the swinging and the tricks. So if it's that same level of like upgrade, then I personally would be happy. But when I look at like games like Red Dead Redemption, they do like really good Have you ever like watched any of Rockstar's like gameplay breakdowns before a game comes out, where they spend 10 minutes just going over all the systems and like improvements and stuff? That's the kind of stuff I really like.
Yeah, I get it.
So so just for that, while like I said, I've never played them, so I can't go to their particular like playability or things of that nature. But Red Dead, when it first came out, was a unknown IP. So of course they have to show those type of things. When it comes to like Spider-Man, that's you have to be like locked in a basement your entire life to not know anything about Spider-Man, things like that. Yeah, I get it. I do agree that we seeing something like that would be a good fan service. But back to like again, I'm not going back and forth about that. One thing that one part of marketing is word of mouth. That's why you don't see a lot of Lamborghini or high end car commercials. What you will see is somebody driving is like, damn, I want that. That's a word of mouth type thing. So that's the reason why we're going to be the word of mouth when October comes out and you see that Miles pulls out an electric sword and someone shows, oh, that was in the comics, and they put it on there. That's a word of mouth thing. Somebody might have been on October 22nd, like, you know what? I'm not really sure if I really want this game or not. And they see that shit on Twitter and it's like, they pull it out. So I get it. Like I wouldn't mind seeing some more stuff beforehand, but in the same token, I also want to have those genuine experiences, right? Like as I'm playing it, because at the end of the day, while a lot of that stuff we want to experience, if we see it beforehand, we're going to either one or two things. We're either going to be not surprised when it happens, or trying to mimic the things that we see on the marketing with like different suits and things of that nature. Yeah, so it's always good to have those. I can agree. A lot of those experiences.
Yeah, like emergent experiences yourself.
It's like I said, I just wanted to show this trailer specifically to address, some of the claims that I saw, on Twitter and Reddit, where they're like, we don't know what's different between this game and the last two games, and I'm like, I don't know how you can make that claim. This man is literally throwing fireballs.
Judging by the 3 tons of dead fish, not well.
Like that's all new. Like he's never been doing that in the prior games.
Garage might lead to him.
It's going to really disappoint me when we get to that place IRL and it turns out we're not strong enough to one-shot the enemies with those like that powers. So we're just going to be like, yeah,
They're gonna fight him again.
Yeah, I
Miles
got to
is
actually
OP.
pick him
I'm
up
not
and
worried.
punch him.
That's where you just explode, do the explodey thing, and just take them off.
Kamikaze, the whole place down.
Yeah.
The
What's
lightning
up, Preach? How you
sequence
doing?
is so good.
They've definitely shown this specific bit off as well, because this is quite slow in nature, right? It's not necessarily the most exciting, but I feel like there's a reason for that, because we were told this is going to be a horror game to an extent, right? Very obviously not really, but like for a superhero game, it's going to be a bit more of that. And there's 100% the reason they showed that sort of stuff, because we are going to get that, you know, like for Venom or more, you know, more lizard stuff.
It's like, you know, if you paid attention to the interactions between Peter and Miles alone, it's like you are getting a very different version of Peter in this game. And like, look at the size of that, bro. The lizard is gonna be crazy.
Just his skin.
I don't think.
A lot. Oh, sorry, Ulfa, you go.
I was just gonna say I don't think this whole sequence is gonna play out exactly like this in the game, because Miles' reaction to this suit in this scene is just like, he's just like, oh, cool new suit. It's like, dude, you got like a tentacle alien all over you. Like, you would be way more shocked than that. You'd be like, oh, your suit's cool.
Genki's tracking him.
Hey, Mr. Parker.
I think they were trying to imply that was his first time seeing it.
Yeah,
I like
but
what they. Oh, sorry. Right.
No, go on.
No,
go on.
I'll pause it.
No, so I like what they I like the theory that people had about the lizard, because the lizard is like ginormous, but in the first game when you go to Dr. Delaney's the party, is like in a clearly classic lizard. I like the thought that this here is going to be when we see him like gigantic for the first time, but we'll initially see him as sort of like the lizard in the lab coat and stuff like that. I hope people realize though, with the lab coat, is the lizard himself, like when he's like a bit feral, doesn't just put it on. Like he's not human just for the lab coat. Like he only wears that because Connor's had it on when he goes mental. Do you know what I mean? Like people are so into the lab coat, but I think that will be when we first see him as this like massive feral demon.
Yeah, it's like, you know, to JB Studios' point, I still think we're going to see a lot more from, you know, how Peter plays without the symbiote suit, because, you know, what we've seen so far is him mostly relying on the suit. We got a little bit of a preview in the teaser trailer of, you know, the 4 arms being a part of his suit now. And obviously he's going to have to step his game up with gadgets just to balance him out with Miles a bit, because Miles is crazy. Like Miles can take down a room full of people borderline effortlessly and just constantly go over the top with Venom abilities and things like that. And you don't want Spider-Man to get completely overshadowed in his own game. So I'm pretty sure they tweak things and step things up in terms of his gadget abilities. So I'm, you know, like I said, they still have plenty of time and plenty of room to wow people with what they have available in the game itself.
Well, one thing I did notice, sorry, I know you want to get through the trailer, but you mentioned
hey, we here. Let's chop it up.
So when we see the Spider-Verse thing, when people zoom in, I noticed that the tentacle combat, the little bit that we saw, is actually already really different to the first one with the suit powers. It's a lot more animated. It's a lot less sort of stuck in one position. It's like swing attacks and stuff like that. It's really like the arms. I'm talking about the advanced suit arms. And so I think you can get some really cool, almost Chaos Blade, God of War style combos with that thing. I think he's going to be like, especially air combat and stuff, but hitting people in the air with the arms and all that. I think that's going to be like a really huge part of Peter's fun when the symbiote eventually has to come off.
Yeah, so like once we get to the end of the trailer, we'll discuss what everyone's expectations is for the game, just based off what you know of the game, what you saw from previous games, because I'm pretty sure we're all on different ends of the spectrum. And like I said, Allfather, you're good at getting pretty technical in terms of what you're looking for. You also think a little outside of the box in terms of something creative they can do with what's already there. You did a lot of great pitches for things they could have did with Avengers. Unfortunately, most of that stuff got shut down. But it's like you were definitely thinking outside of the box, and I do think that style of thinking is important for innovation and just general fun in gaming. And you definitely want people on the team that think like that. And like I said, I feel like they can be trusted to a degree, but having that kind of outside the box thinking is never bad. It's never going to be a bad thing to have.
Any sign of Connors? Yeah. Genki's tracking him.
Hey, Mr. Parker. Mr. Spider-Man, I mean.
But the date isn't complete.
Okay, I think I got a lock.
Genki, wait, be chill. That wasn't me. Me neither.
I don't even have a stomach, so...
Let's go!
Go, go, go! Take him alive!
Can't lose Connors. Harry's dying, and he's the only one who can help.
We won't. You take the drones, I got the jet skis. Cool if I borrow this?
This is really, really exciting.
Keep it tight, man. Watch out for those drones.
Don't worry. They think I'm
I'm liking the UI design they went with the mouse too. Just shouting that out.
I really hope that like the car chases in the game are more like this. So like I know this is obviously a river chase, so it's a little bit different, but I think with the streets probably going to be more closer to one-to-one scale. You're going to have like wider streets for cars. You could have like a lot of cars during car chases rather than just one or two, so that you can take them out quickly and it allows you to bounce between them.
I just want the Web of Shadows thing where we just decimate pedestrians with those very same cars.
I warned you about going after Connors. Now this is on you.
Yeah, it's like I don't want to, I never want to alienate people or, get down on them for, just wanting something different. So it's like you want different swinging animations and stuff like that. It's like, that's fair. That's you're not, some weird asshole for wanting to see a little something different with just some of the swinging animations, especially with Peter, because compared to Miles, it's like he was pretty bland in the last few games.
I love the fact that you can do a dodge while still moving when you're gliding. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Like one of the problems with the dodge in the current games is like when you're swinging, if you dodge, your momentum stops and you dodge sideways and you got to get your momentum back up again. But when you're gliding, you can move forwards and dodge at the same time. It's awesome.
Grab on, let's go! He's right behind you!
I know!
Whoa! Speed faster!
Fly faster! I do not want to be lizard food!
So it looks like we'll be in control of this part of the game. So it's like a bit of,
Very
quick time events and all of that.
Got him! Hold on! Look out! Everyone, take cover!
Like, notice how Miles said I'll save someone versus when we see Peter save
Can't
somebody.
get close enough!
But I can.
I do hope there's more of like saving pedestrians as well.
Pete!
Yeah.
Alley-oop on three!
Fine.
One of the cool things in Web of Shadows is like if a vehicle explodes, you can like catch civilians in midair. It's awesome.
Your dumbass out here.
Like, honestly, if I was bro, me and Peter gotta throw hands, bro. Like, I know you Spider-Man, you can throw cars, but it's like, bro, don't disrespect me like that.
Exactly.
You can't just throw
He just threw buddy like,
But it's like
You've seen that.
little
Move.
subtle stuff like that. It's like you're seeing a clear difference between his persona in this game and the last game. So it's like I don't, that's what I'm saying. Like I understand people wanting to see more Slight Stardust disappear to the Spider-Verse, but you definitely you can see the different things that they managed to do in just this short trailer. So it's like I don't want to let that go to the wayside, but it's like this trailer I feel like it's designed specifically to appease people who were looking for a lot of those changes you guys were talking about.
Star just put in the private chat that he disconnected and needs to be added back.
I got him. Welcome back, sir.
I'm back. I had my mic muted. I said that twice.
You good?
Yeah, like it's a really good gameplay showcase. Like I'm not taking anything away from this showcase at all. Like when I'm complaining when I'm complaining about like the lack of gameplay, it is just more me venting. Like and I appreciate that not everybody feels the same way. The thing that's been annoying me more than anything is being called a spoiled, entitled baby for wanting a little bit of extra gameplay more than the actual marketing itself. If anything, like people can have different opinions. If the marketing's good enough and the gameplay's good enough for you, that's cool. But you don't have to shit on other people basically just because
but if they don't say that, they won't get free PlayStations. So we've got to relax, all right? Listen, the grind's the grind.
It's like I'm not, I'm never about antagonizing people or stuff like that. It's like I'm always open to a conversation, even if we're on different sides of the fence. And I feel like it's always a middle ground to be found there. What's good? Soundburger with cheese. Appreciate you coming through. Actually, Soundburger made a comment earlier, just talking about their perspective on the marketing and things like that, and how they're not actually sold on buying the game at this point. They haven't even played Miles Morales at this point. And, I can't remember all the points they made specifically, but for people who feel like that, like just for clarity, has everyone on the panel already purchased the game? Have we all pre-ordered already?
I haven't, but that's money side, not me not wanting it. I will want it.
Same boat, bro. I get it. But it's like, the intent to buy is already there. So it's like off it being Spider-Man, we were buying this game. And even if for All Father, even if the game isn't vastly different than the other two games, so it's like you see about the same level of change and evolution between Spider-Man and Miles Morales in this game. Would that be satisfactory for someone like you who was hoping for a bit more?
Yeah, I mean, like what I'm personally hoping for is like Peter to have a similar level of swing and upgrade in terms of tricks to what Miles had in his own game.
Yeah.
I want to have that trick system for both characters. I want to see some. I mean, I don't know if you've watched my video on like swinging, but like I want to have more momentum and like less things that stop you. Like when you hit a wall, when you do like a web point to a wall, you get stopped and have to start again. And I've talked at length about all the different like sort of small improvements I'd like to see. And I guess for me, it's just kind of wanting to see what those improvements are. And like I'm the type of person that like if I don't have information, I get anxiety. And I know that sounds really, really stupid, but if there's information available that like how can I put it? So like if there's a film that's coming out, right, and spoilers get put up online and I'm made aware of those spoilers, I physically cannot stop myself from watching them. Like it's just the way I am. I need information and I need to see things in order to form an opinion on it. So that's just the way I am. And I think a lot of people feel that way and other people don't. Some people like to be excited. Some people like to not know anything going in. And I think it's just a spectrum of that kind of thing where, you want to play it for yourself and experience it for yourself, or you want to have it basically laid out in front of you. And that's fine. It's okay to have those two different opinions.
Yeah.
I'm of
go ahead, Stardust.
Sorry, I'm of a mindset of like, so I don't look at it in a fancy way as All Father does, and that's not an insult or anything. It's just like he's got a bigger brain than I do. So with me, I'm thinking of it as more like it's like Christmas, right? And you know how like I want to know what I got for Christmas, Mum. Like, let me open a present. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, please, because there's a massive box there. Yeah, exactly. There's a massive box under the tree, and that might be a PlayStation. Can I open it? Can I open it on Christmas Eve? Do you know what I mean? Like, and it's like because I'm not being allowed to. Me being a bit of a kid, I'm like, man, you know, I'm just not getting what I want for this Christmas. Like, but when it gets to Christmas Day, I'm gonna unwrap all the gifts and be like, oh, this is sick, thanks, Mum. You know, and that's as simple as that. And Insomniac is Mum in that situation. You get what I mean?
There he is, the man himself.
So,
we got another special guest.
Called, I'll go ahead.
No, my co-host from the After Show podcast. You may know him as Jay Shock Blast. I call him Jay Hate Blast because he's been fighting for his life over there on Twitter. but Jay, definitely appreciate you being able to come through, man. Definitely appreciate you making some time.
I just drove an hour and a half back and forth. Okay.
You should have used your web slingers.
So like, here's the thing. Okay. I've not heard everything. I literally just walked in to what sounded like it was directed at Sadat, but might have been directed at me. So I'll say this. The problem I have is the bad marketing bros. When you kind of just admitted that you are excited and just want to see it. That's the thing. Like, if you just say that and leave it at that, I don't care. But like when you start turning it into it's bad marketing, they're bad at marketing, this is bad marketing, that's when I look at it and say, no, that's not the problem here. And you just basically admitted that that's correct. So, you just want to see it.
So I get you up, Jay. Point. Hold on. Let me pause everybody. So Jay, just to get you up to speed, we've been going through the trailer, thus far.
Okay.
Getting everybody's thoughts and ideas about the marketing in general, this trailer specifically, some of the things we've been shown. And Allfather, he's here specifically because he is in the camp of people who feel like the marketing has been a bit lackluster in comparison to the previous game, and he's not being fulfilled in a lot of the things he himself and people like him wanted to see from the marketing specifically, wanted to see with the gameplay in general or specific. And he himself has admitted that yes, saying the marketing was bad may not have been the right choice of words, but
and that is honestly the only reason I responded. I just give me 1 second. I want you to know this is not like I don't think any less of you. I don't like my goal wasn't to like get in a fight with you.
I know it's no hard feelings, honestly.
I replied in good faith. My issue though is like it's I understand why everybody's excited, but like the messaging on bad marketing, not you, just in general. Like, so when I say the bad marketing bros, I'm not specifically talking about you. I'm just in general, because I see it a lot of places. Like, that messaging is the same on day 41 as it was on day 401. It's like never going to be enough. I just think like pump the brakes a little bit. I understand everybody's excited. Everybody wants to see more, but to tell them they're doing a bad job is a bit much. That's it.
So because you obviously missed the first part of the stream, which is fair enough. One of the first things I said when I jumped on at the start of the stream was actually my choice of words in this whole debate hasn't been very good, because the market in itself hasn't really been bad. Like if you're looking at the word, like the definition of marketing, we've got character posters, trailers, adverts in cinemas now, TV spots. The marketing is fine, but the gameplay showcase for people who really like to dig into that stuff, which if you want to call it fan service, you're probably right, it is fan service. But for some people that really like to delve deep into that side of things and like to see that the game is, regardless of whether we believe it's going to be improved or not, I've no doubt that it will be. We just like to see the results of what's coming, and maybe that is just impatience, maybe it is just what it is, but Yeah, that's all there is to it. It's like
I understand
it's
that.
also unusual because a lot of other games, sequel or not, and regardless of how good the first or second or third game was, will still show all this stuff off. So it's like, why aren't Insomniac like?
Yeah,
I
so
think
why
somebody
aren't
brought
Insomniac
up
doing
the
it?
best example. God of War had 2 trailers.
yeah, so one, I wanted to let Slip jump in because he was about to make a point a few minutes ago.
I
know I'm kind of like
they
coming in
touched
like
on
a
those
furious
points.
storm here.
No, you good. You
They
good.
touched on those points. I'm like, what everybody needs to do going forward, and this is just nobody in general is just a general stance. They need to understand the difference between a marketing standpoint and a fan service or expectations, because putting those two together is the reason why people are feeling very entitled to things.
Yeah.
Because if they put us like they did those screenshots, those character mock-ups or whatever, that's marketing. That might not be something for the people who like fan service, but that is still marketing because it has brought up things. It has shown something. It has shown a better angle of these characters. That's still marketing.
Yeah.
While fan service might not be. If we can get to that point where we break those two up, I think the conversation is a whole lot cleaner than that. After that,
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I totally agree with that.
yeah, that's why I said, like, when the second I thought about having this discussion, it's like I was breaking down how I wanted to do it, and one of the first people I thought of was Allfather, because again, I know you kind of get a bad rap, and it's like it's hard to articulate tone in things through text. So when people see a wall of text or a quick response to an image or video, their default is whatever you just wrote. So they're interpreting tone and all of that stuff. And once you get a chance to talk to you, it's not as aggressive as it may come across, and it's like you're not beating the desk behind the tweet. So it's like I get that, and I just try to give you a fair chance to articulate all of that.
I was honestly more annoyed with some of the other people that kind of chimed in than I ever was with you.
No. That's what I'm saying. Like I before Jay, like all of this is so you and Slip, you both are off the cuff. You know what I'm saying? But I just wanted to let him represent that side of the camp of people who are just looking for more gameplay. It's like, yes, a lot of the people you've been battling with, Jay, they're coming from a place of entitlement, where I feel like there are people who are like Allfather, where you're genuinely looking for just answers, to kind of satiate some of that curiosity you have about this game that you've been making up in your mind for the past 2 years.
That's a really good way to put it. You've actually articulated it really well, and I probably should have put it that way. And that probably does just stem from the fact that like my whole channel and like Twitter is built up around like mechanics for gameplay, so I do have an interest in all that stuff. But then when I look at like whether you want to call it marketing campaigns or gameplay or whatever for other games, like one of the examples I used when I was having a kind of like a back and forth with Jay on Twitter was Arkham Knight, where obviously that was the 4th game in the series, and there was just rows and rows of all these different videos that they had for like tank gameplay, infiltration gameplay, stealth gameplay, and it's like that's the 4th game in the series, and they're still happy to kind of show all these improvements, and it doesn't take away, for people who don't want to be spoiled, they can either not watch it or just watch things that are purely gameplay, and keep themselves unspoiled if they want.
So let me jump in real quick. I wanted to highlight, this is the comment I was talking about earlier from Sam Burger with Cheese. Saying that the reason that they're not sold on
cheese
getting
come from
Spider-Man 2 is because it feels like an expansion due to them not showcasing why I should buy it. So speaking to that specifically, in a sense, it is a bit of an expansion, but you also, as we just highlighted with the trailer, the story trailer, you're getting a lot of stuff that wasn't in either of the previous games. You're possibly getting a whole new playable character in Venom. I'm pretty sold on that being quite possible. There's talk of DLC and all of that stuff, and they're giving you more of what you enjoyed if you enjoyed the initial game that came out in 2018. Which people did. They saw Miles get teased at the end of that game. So when we saw the Miles Morales expansion come out, hey, let's buy that. This is a different experience, different than the initial game that we got. And now you're getting something even different with the ability to switch between 2 Spider-Man in the same game. They're taking on villains together. You got the introduction of the black symbiote suit in the game. All new characters, new villains, all this. It's a whole new experience than what you got in 2018. So I feel like if that's not a new game at this point, I don't know what we're looking for in new games.
Well, I think that go on, Slipshock. I already spoke before.
No, yeah. So okay, I know this might say this may come off and sound as messed up. So I promise you, it's coming from.
It's definitely messed up.
It's coming from the best part, but that reason of thought means you should never buy a sequel for anything.
That's pretty much exactly what I was.
You should never buy a single sequel for any games, because most games that have sequels, unless they're like a Final Fantasy where there's a completely different story that's not tangled to the other one, every game will compile off the prequel. It's never going to be where the game is one thing and then the next game is showing a completely different combat system, a completely different traversal series, a completely different story elements, and it's built in the same universe. At that point, you don't buy any sequels for any games.
Yeah.
You were about to say
Miles
something,
felt
Jay?
like an expansion because they made it only about 10 hours. So you can say Miles was. I'm not saying it was, because I personally like playing Miles more than Peter now.
Right.
But based off of that thought process, every single game has a sequel, is an expansion, and that's incorrect to think about. Now,
let Jay jump in for a sec. So
yeah.
I was just gonna say I agree with what you guys are saying. Like,
Gotcha.
every sequel is going to basically feel like a continuation of the game before it. My biggest thing is, like, our perceived value is so strange to me, because like people will pay like $300 for a pair of Jordans and like never wear them, but then at the same time they'll like question a $10 price increase on a video game they're gonna spend countless hours with. Like,
that's true.
$40 for a Blu-ray now, okay, for a 2-hour movie that you're gonna watch maybe once or twice. And I know people don't buy Blu-rays as much as they used to, but when you went to see it in the theater, it's like $20 to get in, and then you're gonna possibly get some popcorn and a drink. That's what I do anyway. Yeah. I mean, like, our perceived value is just, it's so weird how like video games that people are going to spend so much of their life with have like this set price. It can never be more than that. And then like you question the value of it. Like, if like a nose hair is out of place.
Stardust, you got anything you want to add? And quick, before you jump right in, Sam Burger with Cheese, my question to you and anybody who feels similar in chat, what would you need to see to be sold on buying this game at this point? Go ahead, Star.
Right. So the thing with I think the difference is between, we'll say, Miles and Spider-Man 2, right? Is that with Miles, and do you know what? Even the first one, they had to market it like a million times more because it was their interpretation of Peter and Miles, right? So obviously I'm talking about both games. So that's the reason we probably got Game Informers for a month. That's the reason we probably got the opening set pieces and, you know, a bunch of little bits and bobs like that. Whereas now that we know that they can cook, right? So, you know, they're not burning nothing in there. So with Spider-Man 2, I think that another thing as well that maybe makes people feel a little bit like, whew, you know, about it is the year break, right? Where they didn't show anything for a year. They revealed it maybe a bit too early, maybe not. That's whatever. But then, you know, there was nothing for that year, and now we're getting the stuff now. So I think people's look at any sort of break period as a bit like, oh, but we waited so long. Come on, push it. But I think this is a Sony thing, right? Because we saw this, I think Jay mentioned this earlier with Ragnarok. They did sort of very similar thing where they didn't market it too much, didn't push it too much. Enough, but nothing, you know, nothing crazy. And I mean, that game's done gangbuster numbers, right? Because the first one already did. And I think that now people know Insomniac Spider-Man is, you know, Spider-Man is totally fine. And we know the game's probably going to be good game. And for some people, it won't matter, like me, because it could be terrible and I'd still love it. It's enough.
You survived
know what
Avengers.
I mean?
Okay, listen. You're fine.
My just quick response to Sandberger's comment, like that isn't too much of an extreme opinion even for me. Like they're entitled to feel that way 100% if they are expecting way more from a sequel. But just like Slipshock said, like that is in my opinion, an unrealistic expectation. You're never gonna get a completely different game in a sequel, barring very rare circumstances. That is an unrealistic expectation. But I don't want to see gameplay of Spider-Man 2 because I expect a completely different game. I just want to see the improvements. And if you're not sold on getting Spider-Man 2 because it feels like an expansion, then yeah, exactly. Like, don't play Assassin's Creed 2, don't play, Batman Arkham City, don't play any of these games because by that definition, they're all just expansions. I don't agree with that at all, and I think that's in my opinion, a bit too far of an extreme side of the fence to be on, and it's not the reason I want to see gameplay to prove that it's different.
I would say that the whole point of a sequel is to give you more of what you enjoyed. So you want to see them. You don't want to see a complete repeat of the first game. You want something new. You want a new experience with what you enjoyed about the first game. But to feel like you're in the same universe or move similar to how you did in the prior game, I don't think that's breaking the code or anything at this point. Gaming has got to a very weird spot to where everyone is hypercritical about every aspect of every detail about the studio's decisions behind what they want to do with the game, but like who they decide to hire as voice actors, who's in charge of the project, what the marketing campaign is like, all of these different details. And this is before you even get your hands on the game. And it's like 20, 25 years ago, 30 years ago, the game was the game, and it's either a good game and you enjoy it and you play it again and you tell people about it, or it's a bad game, you stop playing it and you tell people about that. Like, hey, don't play Superman 64. It's trash. Don't rent that. You know what I'm saying?
So I just want to speak on like the whole they showed it too early argument that gets made a lot. One of the biggest things that
don't spam Venom.
One of the biggest things that that devs do when they announce, like Wonder Woman, for example, I can speak on that specifically because I've had a conversation at one of the studios with some of the people working on the game. So like Wonder Woman was announced when it was announced because they needed to go on a hiring binge. Like that was announced so that it was no longer under NDA and they were able to openly speak about it. Because if you think about it, like, okay, we've got job listings on LinkedIn for unannounced video game from Monolith. Sure, you might say, okay, Monolith, that's a good studio. I wouldn't mind working there, but what is it? And
they can't say because if the person doesn't have the job, they might leak it.
It honestly seems like such a simple thing, but like that is a huge reason why Wonder Woman was announced when it was. Probably same thing with Wolverine. Definitely the same thing with Iron Man, because what happened after they announced Iron Man? Oh, by the way, we're hiring now for a narrative director. Like they don't even have a full narrative written, because I saw multiple people like Chris Baker. I don't know if you guys follow him at all. I know who he is. He used to be a publicist on Marvel's Avengers, but he's also worked for Marvel games for a long time, and he was actually worked on most of the Spider-Man games before Insomniac took over. Like he openly shot his shot there, you know what I mean? So like people don't understand, like there are so many reasons to announce a game that early that aren't marketing based. Like, so yeah, I understand what Allfather was saying earlier. Like now it's in his brain, there's a Wonder Woman game, there's a Wolverine game, and he just wants more and he wants to know what's going on. And I understand why that quiet period exists, but when did they announce the Elder Scrolls 6? Like 5 years ago, and they just exited pre-production.
There's something about Spider-Man specifically though, because like I don't feel this way about those other games that you mentioned, weirdly. So like, don't get me wrong, I'm excited for, especially Elder Scrolls 6. Like I'm a huge Elder Scrolls fan, but it's like the itch for wanting to see what they've done is not the same
that.
for those
I
games
understand.
for some reason. I don't know why. I can't even explain that. I don't even have a good explanation for why that is.
Spider-Man is like the most popular, like Spider-Man, Batman, Superman, the holy trinity of comic book characters. Like three of the most popular, probably three of the top 10 most popular characters in the world, in the history of the world. You know, they're up there with Mickey Mouse and like I don't know, other characters.
Sora.
Yeah, it's like you know, like I said, I'm an older guy, so it's like the movie being announced a couple seconds before, you know, it's, I mean, not a couple seconds, but you know, a couple months before it comes out. So like you'll get a teaser trailer, you know, for Spider-Man. You don't even see Spider-Man on screen. You just see him webbing up something and Spider-Man is coming. Oh, cool, the Spider-Man movie is coming out. That was enough. I mean, the internet wasn't what it is now, so you don't have the option to go scour the internet for all these different information pieces and all of that stuff. But, you know, it was enough. And finding out about a game, like I didn't find out about Street Fighter 4 until I was walking around the mall and I passed GameStop and they have a display set up outside so you can, you know, play Street Fighter 4. I'm like, when the hell did Street Fighter 4 come out? All right. And now I'm whooping people with Ken because that's what I do. Same with Mortal Kombat 9. It's like, I don't know anything about it. That's why casual is literally in my name, because I'm casual at best. Like when I dedicate some time to a game, I can get on with the best of them. But typically, I'm just not caught up in the news cycle about, you know, what's going on with movies, TV shows, video games, and things like that. But for people who are like Allfather, who, yeah, when you're interested in something, you do want to dig for the details. You do want to find out as much as you can, how much you can, and things like that.
I think that's just ADHD. I get hyper focused on like a specific thing, and I'm like, I have tunnel vision, and I just need more of it. But like, it's just the lack of dopamine. But like, I think it's partially as well because like from the age group that I'm in, like when I was a bit younger, like you were just saying before, the internet is what it is. Like part of my core memories of like being excited about games coming out was going to buy like a Game Informer type magazine and reading through all the articles of being like, this is what they're going to do next in this game and they've added this feature. And like back then it, like, you didn't really get like huge gameplay showcases. It was all just in these articles. And I think that's kind of formulated the way my brain works, where it's like, I want to see these nitty gritty details. So it's like when I'm not, that's not being stimulated, my brain's just kind of like on overdrive, thinking of what it could be like, and then I'm scared that I'll be disappointed if it's not living up to my expectations that I've built. And yeah,
it's like you know, players have to find a balance between what we want to see, like where our expectations are, and what the developers have in mind. So it's like, give them the room to cook their vision of the game while hoping, you know, for the things you're hoping for, but not killing the development team if it isn't exactly what you envision, because they don't know what's going on in our brains to a T. So they can relate to us to some degrees. They can understand where we're coming from a little bit, but they also have their own visions. And I feel like it's important to give them that room. And as a studio, you do have to kind of strive to find that balance, though, because, you know, as we saw with Avengers, they completely tuned us out for the most part, where a lot of our ideas could have helped them along with what they were trying to do for their vision for the multiplayer side of things. So it's like, we're playing games. You're listening to gamers specifically about what they want to see in the game that you want them to play, and you're tuning them out. So it's like, there's always a balance that I believe can be found. But, you know, Insomniac has demonstrated a knowledge of what they're wanting to do and balancing that with what players want to see. And I feel like more people than not have been okay with what they've been, you know, producing in the past few years.
It's funny you mention Avengers, actually, because that's a good example of me being exactly where Allfather is right now. So you guys remember the Spider-Man dicks out for Spider-Man thing that I was doing for a while, right? And things like that, right? Literally, even though I was obviously always going to play Avengers until the very end, near about, and I was going to play a Spider-Man when he released, my brain was so itchy from not seeing anything about their version of Spider-Man, right? He swings. I literally popped in a trailer, so I did the reaction to it on the OG channel, and I just saw he swung, and I was like, oh my God, he swings! Because you just don't know with Avengers. But the point is that, like, I was just that was the same for me, right? And everyone could always say, "Well, you're going to play anyway. Who cares, right? Maybe one trailer and that'll do, you know." And but then I saw the IGN thing. I was like, I was right to be itchy. No, but my point is that I've been there before. It's like, yeah, okay, you're obviously going to be there day dot, but it's still like, but I need to know what they're doing, you know. But I guess the difference would be though, is that at least with Spider-Man 2, you already know half of it, at least half of it, right? At minimum. Whereas whereas on the Avengers side, it's like a blank slate. What they're going to do with him, sort of thing, you know? Like it's going to be Avengers stuff, sure, but like, what is it going to look good? Is it going to be this? Is it going to be that? So I guess it's kind of the same.
I just don't deal in extremes. Go ahead.
I need to interject. I'm really enjoying the scenery we have here of Docking Bay. CA with like those puddles. Is that what we're doing? Are we analyzing?
I'm trying to get past this trailer, so we can just wrap this trailer up so I can move on to other media.
But the ankle's still hurting, limping away.
We would have had to fight, bro.
I saved the tracker.
I love the way the eyes like go.
If I was Miles, we would have had to fight for snatching that thing from me. Snatch from me, bro.
You sure? He's got big teeth.
So do I.
Peter's such a nerd, bro. He really thought he'd say that and he'd cook. He thought that was a bar. He's like, and that's what I love about the symbiote, is it doesn't suddenly make him cool. It's just what a nerd would say and think it sounds cool. Do you know what I mean? Like, so do I. Oh, watch out. Oh, shiver me timbers.
The symbiote in his brain, like.
But yeah, it's like I just wanted to highlight, like, if that one trailer was all the media coverage that we got from this game before launch, that honestly would be enough, because you showed off a decent amount of what's coming with the game, and everything else would be a complete surprise. So seeing that you can actually play with Venom would be a complete surprise. And I'm being hyperbolic a little bit by saying that's enough, because clearly you would need to do a bit more than that. But as far as like deep diving, that was a pretty, at least for me, like I said, we're on different sides of the spectrum on that. For someone like me, that would have been enough, because it's like I got a pretty good idea of where we're going story-wise and some of the stuff we'll be able to do in terms of gameplay and stuff.
For me, it's like if Venom's playable, like keep that under wraps. Like no, do not spoil that kind of thing. Like for me, it's more the finer details that I want to see, like the just little things almost. It's actually more like little details that I want to see than big reveals, and I think people are getting that kind of a little bit conflated. But like, I don't want people to think that I'm not excited for the game or I'm disappointed because of the marketing. Like, I'm buying the game day one. I'm getting the collector's edition, despite the fact that I'm really shouldn't be spending money on it. But like, I'm getting it. You know what I mean? I'm sold on the game. Like that is what people probably don't realize, is I'm 100% behind the game. I don't want people to go away thinking like, oh, I'm not going to buy it because I haven't seen enough. It's just like you said, satisfying my curiosity is probably the best way to put it.
Yeah, that's kind of what Jay has been arguing with most people online about the marketing and things. Like, you're already buying the game, so it's like it's not a question of will you buy it or won't you buy it. You're buying it. The second you heard it was coming, you were buying it, and now we're just critiquing what they're showing and what they're not showing, and saying that the marketing is bad when everything they put out is doing numbers in terms of views and being pushed out and shared and word of mouth and all of that stuff. So the marketing is doing what they're supposed to do. It's not falling flat. It's not, being...
I'll concede that saying the marketing was bad was definitely the wrong way to phrase it.
No, you're good. That's what I'm saying. Like, we already covered that with you.
It's not even you, though. Like, honestly, like, it's more from other people. I think I just responded to your tweet in good faith, just like, it makes sense that they're just celebrating the 5. I think that was what started it, was like, you didn't understand why they were going to do the stream and not say anything new about Spider-Man 2. I was like, well, they do this like every week. But this week they're just celebrating 5 years. I don't really think it's unreasonable that they're just going to hang out and talk about.
Yeah, I was probably a bit heated with that tweet, to be fair. Probably was a bit unfair looking back. Like, that was more just me kind of bitching.
but I was only coming from like, well, I don't know if you notice often or not, but like there's weeks where they're playing like God of War or like I don't know, like
I think for me it was just like I know they do these streams and that's fine. It just seems odd for me to like from my perspective, and I'm not I'm not into marketing. I don't do any marketing or anything like that. But it just seems like if you're promoting the previous game, why not have like and like show a trailer at the end or do like a little tease? Like that to me is like what you're maximizing. It's like a force multiplier. If we're gonna get eyes on the anniversary, why not use it to show off the game? That it just makes sense to me. But
yeah, I don't think that's unreasonable, like to suggest, but I feel like we also have to remember just like how brutal some of these Spider Bros can be. Like we all remember Puddlegate, we all remember Facegate. Like we've seen their chat, and it's just people like I think they were just trying to be honest and upfront from the start, set the expectation so that there aren't people hanging on to every word they say the whole stream and then
feeling
pissed at the
strung
end.
along. Yeah,
you know, like I think that's kind of just where they were coming from.
So like that's why I say like with Allfather and for guys in chat, this is a picture of Jay waiting for tweets. That's how he waits.
Listen, I have gotten so much better. Okay, like I tried not to, but yes, that's probably accurate.
But yeah, like Allfather, like I said, you have similar arguments to people who are saying they want to see more, or you just or who are criticizing just the marketing or game branding in general. But like I said, I know from conversations in the past that you have deeper insights than simply, oh, this is bad, or this isn't good, or this isn't what we want, which is why, because a lot of people, to be fair to Jay, yes, a lot of people on the other side of those arguments are just making noise and being an echo chamber for, something, that they want to get behind, What's up, Hyrule?
Oh, get him out of here.
Hyrule's dead. But yeah, it's like you're just making noise essentially, where it just kind of becomes a loud mush of nonsense. And it's like, I know you're in that camp, but you're not in the same vein as those people. So like I said, I try to give you a chance to articulate yourself and express that, because it's not fair to just lump everybody under that umbrella. But Jay, I know the weirdest people on the internet come and find you, so well, I understand your perspective.
One of them just showed up, so no, like I honestly, when I had my response was I had no idea what I was walking into. All I know is before I left for Boston, Casual was like, "Hey, I'm doing a show at 1. Do you want to hop on?" I'm like, "Yeah, if I'm back, I'll do it." And I come on, like, "Oh my, I feel like I'm being set up." For the second night in a row, for the second day in a row. That might be an inside joke for some people.
as many perspectives, because you guys are representing different people in the community, but at the basis of it all, we're all fans of the game. We're all buying the game. We're just on different ends of the spectrum. So Stardust is, you can put a Spider-Man mask on a can of beans and he'll buy it just because it's Spider-Man. And Allfather is like, I'm buying that same can of beans, but I want to know what's on the back of the can of beans before I buy it. And it's like, that's a
analogy I've ever had.
I ain't counting the calories, baby. I'm just eating.
I think it was when the other people started chiming in and like trying to tell me I didn't know what I was talking about. It's like, bro, I've been working with publicists for almost 25 years now. I've been to multiple studios, multiple record labels, multiple PR firms. Like, I've had conversations with the people that work on these games. Like, I don't know everything, but like, I understand from my experience what a lot of their process is. And honestly, they probably showed that little trailer walkthrough thing too soon. And that might be what kind of bit them in the butt, because a lot of times, not every campaign is the same, but a lot of times it's like 6 to 8 weeks out is when they really start cooking. And we're starting to see that a little bit more now with them dropping these posters and stuff like that. But
Which are like amazing. These posters are awesome.
Yeah. Well, do you want a list of everywhere I've been, Divine? Like, I mean, you want me to really flex? I mean,
let me pull a scroll out real quick.
He's been in the sewers with the lizard. But yeah, it's like this. I made a post on Twitter a couple of days ago. Like, does this count as marketing? And it's like, I know some people took that as me being snarky or whatever, but that was an honest question. Like, do we count this as marketing? Because I do.
Yeah.
Because it's on social media. It's coming from the social media branding manager, and it's like, we're pushing this. We're getting the new looks at enemies in the game as well as the Spider-Man characters, and people are going nuts for it. And it's like this looks amazing.
I think what Stardust showed is exactly what they need to be doing, which is having a cool story trailer as a preview at the movie theater when you're going to get people like, because there's not really a superhero movie in theater right now, is there?
Blue Beetle is that still
on?
on?
I guess, but like, I don't know what. Yeah, I don't know what movie this was before, but like,
Gran Turismo, because it's PlayStation Productions.
Perfect. Put it in front of Gran Turismo. You're possibly going to get some people that are not traditional superhero game Spider-Man fans, and they're going to see this. Like, I honestly, like, nothing against Sam. Honestly, the first person I think I've ever seen that was disappointed with the first game and then wouldn't buy the next one. Those people are out there though, and I guess I neglected to consider that, but I don't know, man. Like, I just feel like
so cool. Sorry, Jack.
I think like what I would personally be satisfied with at this point. I don't even need like a 10-minute dev walkthrough. I think just with the way we've had a story focused trailer, a 2 to 3 minute gameplay focused trailer would be fine. So like into segments with like bits of like new types of traversal moves you can do, showing off a little bit more of the web wings, new swinging animations, maybe a couple of new combat animations. So it doesn't have to be super in depth and show off anything that's going to really spoil the game, but just little things like that. I would personally be satisfied with a gameplay trailer. That would be enough for me.
I think we're going to see something like that in the 21 to 25 day out time frame, and then you'll get a launch trailer. Like, I feel like we're probably another 2 or 3 weeks away from seeing something big video wise, and then we'll get a launch trailer about a week or so, week to 10 days out. And then there'll just be little things here and there along the way. But the fact of the matter is, most people are already in the door. The people I feel like they need to be spending their time and money marketing to are the people at the movie theater, are the people watching the NFL game, watching, the basketball game, whatever it may be, the baseball game, or watching Real Housewives, as Sadat said last night.
I'd say from that perspective that they're actually doing a good job.
Yeah. So the heart wants what it wants, and I understand that. I think it would be easier for all of us if they just showed big chunks here and there, but they know they don't have to, and they're trying to like still keep some mystery, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and that's what I think. That's why I say like we have to try to be fair to them, because we do not know what their marketing strategy is. We don't know what their rollout timeline is, what all they want to have, pushed out, whether there's going to be reveals coming from the voice actors who are going to, hey, we're on Jimmy Kimmel, and here's new, never before seen footage of, Spider-Man 2. We honestly don't know. So to say that they're doing a bad job, it's kind of, I don't even want to call it disingenuous. It's just like it's a bad faith remark in some regards. And like I said, I understand, people may say that and not mean it as strongly as it's coming across, and I get that. And I'm always of the mindset of just dial it back. Let's see. I'll criticize what we see. So calling out. Well, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, me and Stardust were kind of like talking in the DMs the other day about the whole drama, and one of the things he said is actually really funny, and I totally agree with, when he said like none of this is gonna matter as soon as we get the next trailer or the next whatever. Like, as soon as it drops, nobody is gonna care about like any of it. They're just gonna be talking about it. So yeah.
Yeah, it's like 100%, and another example of how excited people are for this game. They're doing their own marketing. That people are compiling their own images and promoting that for the game. The studio is getting behind it. You know, you're getting acknowledgement from all over the place. This comes from Allfather himself, taking what we just got a couple of days ago and compiling that into an image. You got, you know, and you know, this is coming from Rock Rider, who I want to highlight as well. But it's like, yeah, we're seeing a clear progression between these characters across the game. So Miles looks relatively the same. That hairstyle is changing across games. These three people don't know each other at all, but they're all the same person somehow. And you're seeing suit changes and things like that. It's like they are definitely evolutionizing what we're getting over there. And
Peter looks a bit thicker, a bit buffer to me.
Yeah, he like this is the one image of him actually not looking, you know, devious in the trailer, because it's like every other shot of him in the trailer, he looks shady.
How does he look his youngest in his oldest picture?
Exactly. It's
like that middle picture guy. Well, first of all, that middle picture guy, like he looks like he hangs out on Methadone Mile in Boston. Like he's gone through some shit.
But yeah, it's like, you know, just like Rock Rider dropped this one today. And it's like people are seeing it, people are going, that's like the word of mouth for the game is spreading, and he's been at it for days. Like he's been cooking this stuff up every day for
his work is so awesome
for the last 100 days, all the way till lunch. And it's like he's just going off. Yuri Lowenthal has been recognized, and Insomniac Games has recognized it. It's like passionate people are passionate about it because it's Spider-Man. You say Spider-Man, people are going to tune in no matter what you're talking about. People are going to have something to say. People are going to want to know what you're talking about when they hear Spider-Man. And, you know, the game is already sold us. The second they announced we're bringing Spider-Man 2 to the PS5, that was it. That's the marketing. So it's like, I know it sounds like hyperbole when people say that, but it's like, in honesty, we're buying the game. We're going to buy the game. They can show us nothing. That we literally can have that same screen image that we've had for like the past 2 years, and that will be it. We're still buying that game on October 20th when it comes out. It was never going to be in question. So it's like, I understand we want things. I understand we want more from the marketing and all of that, but they've given us quite a bit with the marketing they've shown so far. You know, this was the teaser trailer that dropped, you know, what was that, in 2021?
2 years ago today, that was.
That's crazy.
Stop the cat, HR.
There's no such thing.
For as long
Stop
as
the
I
cat.
can remember, I have looked for an equal. One who could push me. One who could surprise me. One who could even beat me. Yet all I found is disappointment. Will one of you finally give me what I desire? Yes, we will.
I remember Stardust screaming in my ear when this happened.
I would like to point out this wasn't even the best trailer of the night.
It wasn't. It was the Roll for Me before, for me at least.
No, it was me screaming like a schoolgirl over Knights of the Old Republic remake.
Yes, like you know, that trailer, you know, let us know you'll probably be doing team takedowns. You get both Spider-Man in the same game, and you're getting Kraven the Hunter and Venom in the game as the main villains. We still don't know what the hell Norman Osborn is even going to be doing. We don't know who actually is going to be Venom. You get what I'm saying? It's like the conversation swirling around the game is a part of the marketing. That's a part of the branding.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's funny you mentioned that we don't know who Venom's going to be, because the New York Times may have accidentally spilt the beans on that one. Okay. So they may have. It was actually an article that I did a video on earlier, but missed it. So I could have gotten even more views out of it. Anyway, Parker and Miles Morales. So this is the quote: Parker and Miles Morales, who is from Brooklyn, will twist into knots over a symbiote suit that warps Parker into a villain from the comics, the alien parasite called Venom. Now, I think that's a cop. I think that's just them not knowing that they're two different things, as in symbiote Spider-Man and Venom. I don't think that's. But I mean, there's a video if someone wants it. Yeah, that's right. Well, New York Times exclusive, but I'm just stealing it. So.
I'm just stealing it. But yeah, it's like, everything they've shown at this point has been,
I got a second chance.
Just cherries on top for me.
I'm gonna take advantage of that.
I'll point this out.
So pausing. He doesn't look
complained
evil.
about the marketing for Spider-Man No Way Home. At the end of that, they made almost $2 billion. Maybe just let Spider people cook. Let them cook. Let them cook.
Does he not look like he's going to kill Harry the second his back is turned?
Yes.
like whatever you say, man. Go ahead and go. Yeah, reach over there for me. And it's a knife in your back. It's like, this dude looks crazy. I don't even know if he has the suit at this point in the story. He just looks evil.
With me, Pete. We're gonna heal the world.
I think that scene's from the book.
Hey guys, this is my best friend Harry.
Hey, good to meet you.
New job, huh?
Still gonna have time for tutoring?
We'll figure it out. I didn't know there were bears
Remember when everyone
in these
thought that
woods?
was crazy?
Hey MJ,
Oh,
I have another name for you. Craven.
It's a weird thing to call MJ.
You're on some kind of hunt.
You know, if you need me, I'm just a call away.
Click on the
You don't know what you took from me.
Bro, we got so much stuff in these little trailers that they're giving, man. It's crazy. So you got two villains right here and right here. I don't want to spoil it for anybody in chat who doesn't know exactly who that is. What's up, Ethan? Appreciate you coming through.
So that clip in the story trailer where you see the web wings in the city. I
can go to it for you. Let me see.
There we go. Just give me a trailer with all of this. That's what I want. Give me that trailer where it's like, you can do this, this, and this, and I'll shut up. I'll never say a bad word again. I'll shut up. Nobody has to hear me moan ever again.
All right, I'll co-sign for it. Do it.
But yeah, it's like, honestly, like I said, it's everything they've shown has just been enough, man. It's like Craven looks dope, Venom looks dope, the city looks dope. Just give me the game.
Need me, I'm just a call away.
You don't know what you took from me.
All Miles talks about is how to be a better Spider-Man. How to help you.
What the hell's going on with Pete?
He's not himself. Go help him.
The music's so good as well.
This was our dream. I'm not going to lose him.
Is Harry from Spider-Man 3 or the Sam Raimi movies the only healthy version of Harry in the universe? Because it's like every other version I've been seeing is like this dude is sickly or just like wrecked with addiction.
In the comic, yeah, I was gonna say in the
Spider-Man.
in the comics, like I think it's always been like addiction, hasn't it? Star is probably the best one to answer that. It's always been like alcoholism and stuff, or like drug addiction.
So like Marvel. Here's the thing with that. It was more of a PR thing because they had to do like an anti-drugs campaign in the comics, but they didn't want to make it really obvious, and like a bit like what am I looking preachy. So they kind of said, okay, Harry's dad is in his situation. Let's give him a drug addiction, right? And that was kind of like so. But he's always been sort of like a Weenie Hut Jr. Trying to like either be his dad or better than his dad, or You know, he's always going through something, you know. So like he's probably feeling right now that he's like a bit of a bitch because he's not, you know, he's not feeling really up to much and he's got all these plans and stuff like that. So like, yeah, he's probably just really angry that like, you know, he's got all these people making decisions for him and stuff like that, and he just can't choose what he wants to do with his like, you know, his time left. That's probably why they're dash smash. It's probably not because he's like, grr, angry Venom man. It's more just like he's probably just fed up of his dad being like, no, son, you must stay with me. You can't live your life while you still have it.
Yeah, it's like, you know, this scene is clearly the scene where Norman tells Harry he's a wizard, and you know, the gameplay just completely takes a different turn. But it's like this seriously though, like with them still having the symbiote inside the tank, is like, when in the story do we think Peter comes into possession of the symbiote? Is this when they retrieve it back, or is this before, you know, is there an event at Oscorp or their penthouse where, you know, the symbiote escapes and Peter comes across it? It's like so many questions still, you know, to be answered.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting as well, because like if you want more Venom in the game, then that means you have to have less Black Suit Peter, and if you want more Black Suit Peter, you have to have less Venom, because they can't exist at the same time, really. Yeah. And like, so that's going to be an interesting balance.
Sir, I can change my suit at any time. They can absolutely exist at the same time.
Like, yes, like
post game, but like if he's actually got the, you can probably like wear it as a cosmetic, but in terms of the abilities and the symbiote abilities, you know that.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, it's like, is this the initial landing of the symbiote? So is this where the Oscorp team discovers it, or, you know, is this after something else in the game? What are we speculating?
Going to show that how Kirk Connors potentially lost his arm, maybe.
Okay, is this Kirk Connors?
I think that
but the symbiote bites it off like Pennywise in It Chapter 1 when Georgie was his hand in.
Yeah, just landed, and it's like, whoa, need a snack real quick.
I would accept that.
Or maybe it bonds with Connors, and then he has to try and get it off, and they have to take his arm.
What you took from me.
Do you think we'll see Mr. Negative and this character team up? You know, because it looks like somebody's being attacked here. It looks like this is Peter's hand, if I can see clearly. Yeah. I can't make out who this is, but you know, I don't know if this is part of the prison break or anything like that. But you know,
yeah,
a team up.
I'm not sure who's on the right.
A team up between those two could be dope. You know, both Spider-Man taking on, you know, two villains that they have issues with.
You don't know what you took from me.
All Miles talks about is how to be a better Spider-Man. How to help you.
It's like, this man chasing MJ around is crazy. Like, that's absolutely crazy.
I get it. I would too.
This was our dream.
I'm not going to lose him.
I mean, with Mr. Negative as well, you've got like anti-Venom theories abound.
So I wanted to talk about this scene specifically. So two questions. What made that hole? So like, do you believe Venom, you know, made that hole showing Harry his abilities, or do you feel like someone else being the host for the symbiote made that hole and Harry is discovering it?
Hole?
This looks like a giant hole in the wall.
Yeah. I want to say this is a lizard breakup. Like lizard broke out.
I'm sorry, that looks like New York City.
I never saw it as a hole in the wall. I thought it was just on a roof.
No, yeah, it is a hole in the wall. You can see like the jagged like pipes and bricks and kind of stuff.
You don't see that rebar sitting right there, Star?
I mean, I don't know. I just thought New York walls might be a bit more, you know, fancy. But like, I don't know. It could be Peter smashing out of there, you know.
I think it could be like you know, Harry's gone back to his room in his like penthouse kind of thing, and he's like pissed off and he lashes out, but then at the same time the symbiote just kind of goes a bit crazy.
That could be cool.
But
I still think the next clip we're going to see, by the way, is Peter. I actually do think that. You know, the Craven smashing stuff.
Yes, and my second question was with this this dialogue from Venom himself, quoting or echoing Harry's quote from earlier in the trailer. Do you feel like that solidified that Harry will indeed be Venom in the game? I feel like it's a misdirect.
I think it is a misdirect. I think when Venom says that in the trailer, it's going to be very similar to how Ultron heard Tony say, like, peace in our time. And he's going to misinterpret heal the world from when it's with Peter. And he's going to be like, right, what does that mean? Right. And he sees all these criminals, all these bad, naughty boyos. And he's like, right, that's it. I'm going to kill them. That's how we heal the world. It's going to be like an Ultron situation where he's like, well, the only way to heal the world is, to sort them out.
Yeah, like I said, I can see that, 100%. But it's like this is definitely going to be when we get our hands on Venom.
I'm definitely in the camp that he's playable, even if it's like one segment. I just can't see it not happening at this point. And I think Venom by the end of the game is going to team up with Miles and Peter.
I think it's Mark Spector.
I think Venom's High Ruler, personally.
I mean, you do got the feet out.
True. He's got the same toes and the same teeth.
Casual, you're muted.
That's my fault. I said at the top of the screen, forgive the mistakes. And I was saying, I feel like he's just going to be a set piece in the game, and you're not going to be able to fully free roam with him like you can with Miles and Peter. You probably will when the DLC drops at some point, but I think he's going to be more of an antagonist than someone you can actually save people within the city and things like that. I think when we do play with him, it'll be from someone having an outburst. So you lost control of the symbiote, and Craven's men were chasing whoever they're chasing, and which is why most people are speculating that it's going to be Peter. Like, Craven is on Peter's heels, and he's had enough, and the symbiote kind of feeds on that negativity, and evolves a bit into full-blown Venom. And like I said, I can see that being a thing. What's good, Lawson? Appreciate you coming through. But what are you guys' thoughts on that?
I feel like while that could happen, I think that'd be a little bit of a letdown to have that only be a one segment of a game, unless you can go to different chapters that they put in where you can go to different chapters to play again. Because if you gotta replay the entire game just to get to that point again, it's probably gonna. Or if you're gonna have different saves where this is the save right before Venom, and it's I'm gonna go back and play it, and I'm gonna leave that save again. It's probably gonna end up being not that might be the only thing that it might let me down in the entire game, is being able to play him at some point and then just never again. Unless I play the game again.
Did you feel that way about Mary Jane though?
Of course. I love the Mary Jane things.
Not to have Mary Jane.
Oh, okay.
I don't really know. I'm just here at this point to
Yeah, we, like I said, I feel like we've touched on pretty much everything that I was hoping to with this segment specifically. But like I said, I appreciate you guys coming through as always. Appreciate like I said, I just wanted to give everybody a chance to kind of just share their thoughts, break down what your individual thoughts on the marketing has been, whether it's an issue of marketing or fan expectations being completely different from what the studio has in mind, and all of that stuff. And like I said, I feel like we pretty much got the gist of what the community in general is thinking. Again, if you're a fan of Spider-Man, you're probably buying this game. I know it's becoming cooler to just hate gaming in general. So any game that's announced,
sorry,
any game that's announced,
all hater.
You know, it's cool to just hate on that. But you know, it's like, oh, there he is. What's up, Thor?
Thor, Uncle Kaz says hello.
He looking
I think
like,
I think Thor's going to be Venom in Marvel Spider-Man 2.
Are you Venom?
Say that right now.
Are you Venom? I'm going to spray some water on you so you can multiply.
We got the cat. This is the pet stream.
Wait.
Marvel pets.
He thinks you're a gremlin.
But yeah, it's like like I said, we pretty much covered all the bases in terms of what they've been doing, what they've shown, what they've shared. The promo has reached theaters at this point. You got a state of play around the corner, possibly. And I really think
that's quite a guarantee. I know we can't say like it's a fact because it, you know, you just can't. Yeah, I think it's pretty like.
Yeah, I feel like 90% sure.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you never know fully until it's a thing, but I'm pretty confident that another state of play is coming, especially with it being fairly close to the official, you know, launch of the game. But
state of play where we know Spider-Man's going to be there. I can't wait.
Even Junior.
Any closing thoughts?
September 21st.
I mean, technically, based on the dates that the Game Informer coverage rolls around, in theory, Spider-Man 2 could still be the October coverage.
Can't wait for it to be Mario Wonder.
But if you think about when Assassin's Creed Mirage is actually out, October 5th, you know, it's pretty close technically, and we're getting that Game Informer coverage now. But then with Spider-Man being towards the end of October, there is room for them to squeeze in coverage for Spider-Man with a Game Informer. Possibly, I don't know, but it's possible.
Yeah.
And that would be awesome. I'd be very happy with that.
Stardust, any final thoughts?
No. Sorry.
I expect no less. I expect no less. That's it?
Oh, no, sorry, I actually don't. Yeah, sorry, no.
What about you, Jay?
You know, I'm just glad you're not busy with your deep dish for once.
I'm trying to kill that rumor as much as possible. People from Chicago Slip, back me up, bro. Do we eat deep dish pizza just sitting around Chicago like that?
Slip literally took me to have deep dish pizza.
Because you were a visitor.
I'm lying. He took me for wings.
I tell people all the time, no. I can't remember the last time I actually had some deep dish.
We'll eat it if you come in town and we hit up a pizza parlor or something like that and you want to check it out. Hey, what's up with the deep dish? We can have some deep dish. If it's Wednesday and I want some pizza, I'm not getting deep dish. It's just not going to happen.
Every Friday night, Sadat just tells everybody you're just busy in your deep dish, and I believe him.
Sadat is in denial. He's projecting. He's obsessed with the idea of a good deep dish pizza. From Chicago.
I had a great deep dish pizza in Chicago. I'm a big fan of Lou Malnati's.
Yeah, I told you I'm super salty I didn't get a chance to link up with you and Slip when you were out here.
Sorry.
But it's probably for the best because the spot I was going to take you to, I ended up going there not too long ago, and I don't know what happened to the original recipe, but it's like they.
When you guys kept saying deep dish, I thought it was code word for High Ruler's mother, so I'm really glad to get that out of the way. I'm really glad we were able to dissect that we're talking about pizza.
And on that note,
the same thing, bro. I don't know.
On that note, I appreciate
you guys.
Piece of
that ass. Sorry. Right.
I just want to very super quick just say, Jay, no hard feelings. I know we get into it sometimes on Twitter and it gets a little bit heated and whatever, but it's just
I didn't even think our part was the heated part. I thought it was just the other people in the peanut gallery chiming in, being way dumber. I didn't think any less of you. That's why I got to a point where I was like, listen, man, all right, cool. You know, all I'm saying is this.
Yeah, no, it is. It's just, it is literally just two different viewpoints. That's all. And yeah, I wasn't I wasn't like mad, and I know I was like I can be a bit like sort of like deadpan with the way I write sometimes, but yeah, no hard feelings.
I don't put too much thought into like written word. You know what I mean? Like we've been all been on the internet for too long. We understand. So no, there were no hard feelings at all. So
good stuff.
We're good.
So
and
to summarize,
we understand each other much better now too.
To sum things up, if you are on the internet, Jay will find you and he will fight you at some point. Don't take it personal. It's just going to happen.
Yeah. I just thought the other guy that like lost all respect. I showed who I was. Thought that guy was a bit much. Like, what are you talking about? You like it. You obviously liked it when I was on your side, you know, because like I'm not that different. You just weren't on my side this time, and
he changed sides. He changed. He different now.
Just
I don't know what to say. I try to. I don't know.
Well, yeah, appreciate you guys for coming through, man. Everybody who took some time out to come hang out with us. Definitely appreciate everybody on this podcast. If you guys haven't already, follow them. If you guys want, you can drop your links down in the chat. Definitely give Stardust, Allfather, Slipshock, and J Shock Blast a follow.
I was first. Yay!
If you enjoy superhero gaming or gaming in general, I'm pretty sure they got you covered on all fronts. And as always, if you haven't already, drop a like. It definitely helps support the channel. And if you want to check out more podcasts, more live streams, more superhero news and gaming coverage in general, make sure that you're subscribed to the channel so you don't miss the next one. And we are out.